What's up, guys? It's me, Lewis. So, it was a very interesting weekend. It was the weekend of Captain Marvel. I know a lot of people have spoken out about Captain Marvel. John talks, the Star Wars girl. Uh, a quite a lot of people have talked about Captain Marvel, and let's just say that for most filmmakers, they looked at Marvel with envy because they wondered, how can we make movies like these and make money? And I think that's what has failed the DC universe time and time again. They've tried to make them dark or make them humorous. Suicide Squad was kind of an abortion in itself. And I know I don't mean to bust on DC or Marvel, but a lot of filmmakers, especially old school, maybe 70s filmmakers, you know, look at these movies and say, yeah, they're not artistically interesting. They are generating an audience, but to me, they just keep what what they think is essentially kind of a fraudulent movie. There's kind of no real no real immediate threat, even though there is always a villain in every single Marvel movie leading up to Infinity War. So I don't think that's the case either. I think it just came in the wonderful package of Brie Larson. Yes, Brie Larson, Mary Sue, the wooden actress. Yeah, she's. I knew about her for quite a while. I wasn't, say, ignorant as a lot of other people and who didn't know who she was. I mean, if you didn't know who she was before and you're now seeing this person rage against men and be this feminist pig and talking about men and it's like if this is the only thing you know her from. I knew of her when she I knew of her from indie film. She was basically she was the one who folded her hands when Casey Affleck won at the Oscars because the rumors of him and a molestation charge resurfaced um, after that movie of his came out. I don't. Again, it's another independent film that nobody cared about until Oscars. That's what every Oscar movie is Oscar bait. So when I think about the low ratings, that's the fan base telling Marvel this woman is putting a gun to the Golden Goose's head and pulling the trigger. And to many 70s and to many creative people, this is sort of a burst of energy because, you know, I don't wish Marvel ill, but when it comes down to it, this was kind of Brie Larson's fault. And from what I heard, she didn't apologize. And I really felt bad for a lot of 40-year-old men that had to go see that movie with their wives and fight the trolls. Yeah, I listened to a lot of the trolls and they just had a problem with the movie being bad. They had a problem with, you know, I was interested until she said those comments. I was totally interested in the movie, but now it's over. I'm not saying that Marvel should fail. I don't think that, you know, I have nothing against Marvel in general. It's just when you put outspoken people in the in the driver's seat of a big major studio thing like Captain Marvel, which no one was excited about. No one cared at all. So, how are you going to tell people to be excited for this movie when nobody cared to begin with? It's, you know, I think it was in I think it was in a Miyazaki film. I think the one about the guy who was building the airplanes. Anyways, you know that it. I guess the Italian engineer told the main character, everybody sort of has their 10 years and it all sort of goes downhill. And I think maybe that can be applied to Marvel in general because I just don't get why you never heard of Michael Keaton saying this stuff when he was doing Batman. Ben Ben Affleck kind of got into some hot water on Bill Maher and sort of ruined a little bit of his image when it came to Batman versus Superman, but more on that later. When you put these very outspoken people in the middle of these big major productions, it turns sideways very quickly. And I think I felt bad for all men of 40-year range, black, white, Mexican, Asian, that had to hear those comments and say, if she's talking about white men, that's code for every man. That's code for every man. And while I've been outspoken, I've spoken very much about everything and anything I can, it just turns into a very peculiar aspect with such a product like Captain Marvel that nobody cared about, nobody wanted to see, and quite frankly is going to ruin the rest of Marvel. And word is through the grapevine is that the Avengers cast are not happy with Brie Larson. Any stupid thing that they've said, they've immediately apologized for. And they've meant it. You know, I think um, Brie Larson has not apologized. She's not made even the closest amount to an apology for show any remorse to try and win back people over. And as I knew this movie was, from hearing all the people on YouTube talk about it, it sort of became sort of an issue for me not to go see this movie. I had other plans, but when I like you can go do the research yourself, but this movie essentially made 100 million. It makes no difference to me because in about a month they're gonna put Captain Marvel on DVD. It's not gonna make it past a month. And it may be nominated for Best Picture, but only for a sympathy vote, just like what Black Panther did. Which I felt that if Infinity War was better than Black Panther, it sort of tied up the 10 years perfectly well, and I got it at Infinity War. So, what to say? I was glad I didn't see the movie. I hated the idea of Marvel finally getting to what they were saying about the entire series now come to a crashing halt. It is a flop. Captain Marvel is a flop in the spectrum of the Marvel universe. It essentially is at a 50% positive with people. Over 50% of people didn't want to see it, and I don't think it was men. I think it was women. I mean, I know one woman who essentially did not like the trailer of A Wrinkle in Time just because of the way it looked. If I mean, what else is there to say about a movie that does not perform, but it ultimately says nothing anyway and just forces SJW crap into their movie? So I mean, and as I thought about it, I really, when I did tend to look at my own work, I'm a creator of fiction and novels. I don't know if I ever tried to push any type of politics, and if it was, that person was that was a Republican or a Democrat, and it mattered to the story. It made sense in the story. And that's when, anything of that nature should be in any type of movie or anything. But a superhero movie should be fun. That's the whole point. It should be fun, titillating, thrilling. You got sexy people and costumes, and I mean, let's just say Brie Larson put the gun to the golden goose's head and blew his head off because it essentially made 100 million. So, furthermore, what did you guys think? Did you see the movie? Did you not see the movie? Were you one of the trolls like I was talking about the film? And I've relatively stayed quiet about the entire thing, but now since the movie is out and it's open to all criticism, tell me what you guys thought. I'm not going to see the movie, so, anyways, just wanted to say that. And please like, comment, subscribe. I've got a lot of other content on the way, so thank you very much. See you next time.